I don't see Joe Biden as a threat. I think he's only a threat to himself.
I never heard say, if you go back and look what I said and didn't say, I don't think I treated her badly.
It is appropriate to ask Professor Hill anything any member wishes to ask her to plumb the depths of her credibility.
Our goal must be to do everything we can to make it easier for women to come forward.
How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
It sends the message that they will not be believed, they will be dismissed, and the most powerful person in this country will mock them.
The establishment is now putting all of their eggs in the Biden basket. How's that going to go?
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
When I was about the age of the guy standing over there, I got involved in the civil rights movement. You know, when I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement.
I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else.
More than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement, and more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood, kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
Whether or not busing serves is A, required constitutionally, and B, has a utilitarian value for desegregation, I come down on the side of A, it is not constitutionally required, and B, it is not a useful tool.
You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools, and she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
54 years ago, you were in the front lines of trying to desegregate school housing at the University of Chicago. You were even arrested.
The Congress on Racial Equality, CORE, and there was a great group. We got involved in trying to desegregate housing owned by the University of Chicago. Injustice is something that I have always fought throughout my life.
Bernie was a protester. He was an activist. He was an organizer. And he is literally the only person in the United States Senate with this story.
When I go on Fox, what I will say is, look, many of you voted for Donald Trump, but he lied to you. He told you he was going to provide health care for everybody, yet his policies are to throw 30 million people off of the health insurance they have. He told you he wasn't going to cut Medicare and Medicaid. He lied to you. Massive cuts in his budget for Medicare and Medicaid. Working people need to know the truth, and that is that Donald Trump betrayed them, lied to them, and I intend to do that.
Had she picked Bernie Sanders, it would have been tougher. But the only one I didn't want her to pick, because of trade, because he's a big trade guy. You know, he basically says we're getting screwed on trade. And he's right. Joe Biden made a deal. NAFTA, he approved it. He was pushing it. It's the worst trade deal ever made.
I voted for NAFTA. NAFTA in my state created more jobs than it lost jobs.
NAFTA may be a good deal for the people who own our corporations, but it is a bad deal for American workers, for our family farmers, and it is bad for the environment.
Today we're finally ending the NAFTA nightmare and signing into law the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. Very special.
While NAFTA has led to the loss of nearly 1 million American jobs, this agreement does virtually nothing to stop the outsourcing of jobs to Mexico.
I'd rather run against, I think, Biden than anybody. I think he's the weakest mentally. And I like running against people that are weak mentally. I think Joe is the weakest up here.